Welcome back to the Fittingly Furnished Podcast. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Amanda's mom, Vanessa.
So, Mom, what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, it is the holiday season, and at our house, we really, really love a party. And what? And if it's a dance party, it's even better. But we just had Thanksgiving, and I was thinking about it as I was setting our table that Thanksgiving was so stinking late this year that I really didn't want to do something in homage to autumn because I wanted to enjoy more of a Christmas vibe. And so I decided to go with more of a Christmas theme. And you and I have really been talking about lately, just because we're always looking at trends and things that are happening in the design world, that it seems like there has been a resurgence this year of that Ralph Lauren look. And so I thought that would be a great way to start our holiday season. And so I was going to show everyone the foundations of how to set a beautiful table.
Yeah, awesome. And while you start to share your screen, I'll remind everyone that they can see all of the images if they're not watching on YouTube on all of our social media pages. And then if they are watching on YouTube, you can see our beautiful Word document right along with it.
Okay, so I was trying to figure out how to do a PowerPoint presentation at Vanessa Nunley Designs. The owner here does not teach us how to do that sort of thing. So I do have a Word document, but I did use my very favorite tool that you taught me, which is
But at Fittingly Furnished, we do much better PowerPoints and presentations. So at Vanessa Nunley Designs, that's a different story over there.
I know, it seriously is. So I did use my snipping tool that you taught me. So next time you can teach me how to do a PowerPoint.
Exactly.
Nice. Okay, so I'm going to start here as I'm sharing my screen. The dining room at our house is kind of a big deal. We have a beautiful dining room table, and my husband, Amanda's dad, always feels like you're very special. You have to be table worthy if you actually get to dine in our dining room. So this year for Thanksgiving, we were 9 girls and 6 boys. So I decided to put the girls in the dining room and the boys in the kitchen. So Amanda, you got to enjoy the dining room table as one of the girls. Okay, so we're going to get started. To me, every table should really start with a tablecloth, just because you want to protect your table. And the tablecloth really is just a foundation. For the most part, it is not going to be the showstopper. I really think whatever you do as your decor is what should really stand out. So here I have started with our foundation piece. So I have a bronze tablecloth, and I chose bronze because I'm going to be using the beautiful tartan plaid of the whole Ralph Lauren look and gold details, and I didn't want to do a gold tablecloth. I wanted to do something that was still in a nice warm tone, but that would not take away from the gold.
Okay.
So we have the bronze.
So it doesn't necessarily need to be as matchy, but it should complement the rest of the setting.
Absolutely. We want to do things that complement and enhance the table, and things that just match certainly don't bring a tablescape to life. So that's a good point. Okay, so the next, all right, so like when you're decorating your bar cart, oftentimes you use a tray, and on that tray you'll have, pretty bottles or glassware or whatnot, and that's really how I feel it's a good idea to corral what you're trying to showcase. And here for our tablescape, that's going to be the centerpiece, and to anchor that, I have used a beautiful tartan plaid runner, and so runner's a great way to create a foundation. And you can see here, if you look closely, that I have up my tape measure, because one thing about design is that everything really should have a thoughtful, cohesive plan as you put it together. So making sure that runner is centered on the table, for me, is a key point.
Definitely. So then do you use the tape measure to measure it from both ends and then from the middle of the table as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful.
Nice. Okay. And so, okay, so here, just while we're looking at this tartan plaid, so you know me, I'm more is more, so I collect everything in large quantities. So if I'm going to do any sort of dishware, glassware, or napkins, I like to do 20 or 24. And I was looking at Pottery Barn, always says such pretty things, but they're kind of expensive for a runner, and I wanted that, really terrific classic traditional kind of Christmas plaid. So I was looking at Pottery Barn, they were so expensive. And then I looked at Amazon and they just did not have, I didn't think the quality that I wanted to invoke. So I actually found a really great runner and napkins at Target. So that was great. So it was a better price point, but not crazy, crazy, crazy like it would have been at the Pottery Barn.
On a budget.
Ballers on a budget, baby. So the next thing I'm going to do is really just anchor the centerpiece. So I am a big fan of an urn. I collect urns. I have them in all sorts of sizes and levels of detail. This is one that I use all the time. It's warm and it's detailed, so I like that. It has a little bit more visual interest, and you can always fill up an urn with all kinds of seasonal decor. In this case, later on, we're going to use some ornaments. So as the very centerpiece, I have the urn, and then I found these darling reindeer candelabras, and they're going to be part of the decor as well. So this is the foundation where we're going to start to anchor our tablescape.
I also like that the urn is not necessarily gold.
Yes.
Matching, like the reindeer or deer, whatever you are calling them specifically, but once again, kind of matching in the same tone altogether.
Yes, I agree. It adds warmth, but not matchy. So the next thing that I'm going to do is garland is a great way to add some dimension and some color to our tablescape, and it's really nice to bring in a natural, organic feeling, so doing branches of some sort. So here I have garland that I have, and I like to use a wired garland. Natural, of course, is very beautiful, but it's a little bit messier, and it doesn't give you the optionality for using, to form it where you need it to go. So I do like to use a wired garland, and that way I can kind of manipulate it so it's pretty much, it's not going to be the same on both sides, but again, that has that more organic quality, but it's balanced on both sides. So I do try to use that garland so I can bend it into shape. And here I've bent it into shape kind of around the reindeer candelabra.
And do you find that a faux garland is much more user-friendly than a real garland?
I do, even though the reel is so pretty, depending on how you're using it. Here for us on our tablescape, I think because I want to be able to manipulate it a little bit more, because I'm going to be adding so much to the table, that I think the faux is a little bit more user-friendly. And then, you can use it from year to year, so it's an investment.
And you don't have to deal with the pine needles, too.
I know, the needles, they stay with you forever.
Seriously, it's like glitter. You never get rid of it.
It's like glitter, although I like the glitter too. Okay, so we have our foundation with the greenery. And the next thing, I'm going to add another layer. And because my tartan plaid it's red and green, I really want the red to pop, and the green is a really pretty supporting player. And so to this tablescape, I have added some little sprays that you can get at Hobby Lobby. So they're just like little decorative picks. This one has 3 red, they're kind of like ornaments, like on a spray. So I've used 3 sprays with 3 balls on each side, to the right and to the left of the tablescape. And I like too that they add a little bit of ornamentation. They're red, but they have they kind of have a little bit of glitter on them. So again, it's not just the red that is in the tartan plaid, it's just another shade of red. And the balls add, again, a little bit more dimension to the tablescape.
I also like that they have a little shine to them as well.
Shimmer is always very nice. Matte is kind of dull and boring. So this next picture is just, you can see a little bit more closely how all the pieces come together.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to add, again, is just a little bit more decoration. And so here I have more like berry-sized sprays. Again, Hobby Lobby is a great place for these kind of things. You can use them again and again. I've used 3, and I've intermingled them with the other decorative picks. And again, I like this red. It's like a nice small shiny red berry. So again, it kind of has a little bit of a natural look to it. So here, the next step is going to be to start to intermingle some of our other decor. So I have these cute little ceramic Christmas trees. They're in green with a little bit of gold dusting. So again, we're looking at the play on texture and color and shape and size. So I have 2 large ones on either end of the tablescape and then 2 smaller closer to the urn.
I like the gold dusting, once again, kind of that nod back to the gold.
I like that too. It's soft, but it's not, again, matchy.
Yeah.
Here then, I added these other couple little like smaller Christmas trees, and they are in gold glitter, and I think you have these too.
I do. I love them. They're so fun.
They're really cute, and I just like, again, it's more winter than Christmas. So we've got the greenery, we have the trees. They're kind of a nod to a winter wonderland. And I have them in 2 sizes, a smaller size. So we have the large green tree on the far end, then with the smaller glitter tree kind of paired with that. And then with the smaller green tree, I do the taller glitter tree, again, just kind of mixing up those heights to add a little bit more visual interest.
I think it also helps balance out the whole tablescape.
Absolutely. Balance is, in all things design, balance is very important. So the next thing that I did is, so going back to my foundation piece of the urn, I filled it with green, gold, and red ornaments. And they're just little ornaments, and they're various shades of green, various shades of red, and various shades of gold. And I've also taken some of those ornaments and I've interspersed them throughout the greenery, lining the tablescape again, so it's kind of filling it in a little bit. And then I have some other great kind of sculptural looking gold ornaments nestled amongst the branches. The other thing I do want to point out, I do love candlelight. Is always very pretty. It's warm. It feels cozy. And I did add votives throughout the greenery. And here's just a little tip, just so your house doesn't start on fire. Make sure that when you're working with the garland, again, it's great to have the wired garland because you can bend it and shape it around the votives. So again, that you don't start your house on fire, because that would be a very tragic holiday
Especially
celebration.
if you're using a real garland.
Oh my gosh, yes, and yes, absolutely. So now that we have our centerpiece done, we're going to move on to each table setting. And because we have that great red in the tartan plaid, but now it's a little bit covered up because of all of the fun pieces we have in our tablescape, I have red, they're kind of like a nice little shimmer placemat at each place setting. And I do love the formality of using a charger at each place setting. And I've got lots of chargers, but my favorite ones are a gold basket weave. Again, I think because not only does it have that pretty sheen to it, but the basket weave is just a beautiful texture.
And once again, going back to that gold nod.
Back to the gold nod. Yes. I'm a huge fan of dishes. Again, I collect them in 20s and sets of 20 and 24. In this particular case, I've chosen just a beautiful white Lenox dish, and it has a pretty scalloped edge. So again, it's just all about the details and the layers. And then on top of that, I always do like to try to do kind of a fun decorative plate. And in this case, I have a little plate that's got ornaments on it that says Merry, Merry, Merry. And who doesn't want to be Merry, Merry, Merry at the holiday season?
I know I do.
I know I do too, girl. And then lastly, we're going to get a close-up here of our table setting. And so you can see then we've brought that the tartan plaid in and the napkins. And then I have these terrific gold beaded napkin holders. And I've, in this case, chosen to use green handled silverware. And of course, I always do like to set a table at least with a water glass. That way everyone can bring their beverage of choice, be it champagne or wine or high
Holiday
noons,
cocktail.
or a holiday cocktail to the table as we celebrate. And then lastly, you can see the entire table all set for us to celebrate our family and be thankful this season.
I think it looks really nice with the balance of the plaid with then the reds, the greens, the golds all dispersed together.
I'm glad that you like it. I think it was a pretty way to celebrate with our family, and at least for the girls in our family, because we were in the girls' room to catch up and enjoy the season together.
Definitely. Well, thank you all for spending some time with us today.
Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if you ever have any design dilemmas, we'd always be happy to help.
And don't forget to create beautiful spaces that are fittingly you and fittingly fabulous.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.